This is an open letter to Mr. Olaf Scholz, I believe your name is, sir, the Chancellor of Germany. The man in charge in Germany, Mr. Scholz. Sir, and the rest of the leadership in Germany, I guess. Sir, I'm not sure you know what you're doing. I'm not sure you have read your own history. Folks, in short, it's insanity for one to help set fire to one's neighborhood. It's insanity to help set fire to one's neighborhood. This time you're setting fire not in Namibia, you're setting fire at the corner in Europe. Even if you're so aggressive and violent that you keep attacking and setting on fire different parts of this planet, that's, it's not in your neighborhood. Now they're tricking you into setting fire to your own neighborhood. I mean, I always considered Germans as being very efficient in the brain. What is this thing you guys are doing? You're setting fire to your own neighborhood. Remember, your neighborhood is not California, and your neighborhood is not New York, and your neighborhood is certainly not London. Ukraine is in your neighborhood. You're helping set it on fire. Why? The point is, when a house in the neighborhood catches fire, it's understandable that those people who are farther along would not come to help to shut the fire up. But it's not understandable. It's understandable that the people far away don't care about the fire in your neighborhood. You should care about the fucking fire in your neighborhood. Did the British and some of Uncle Sam's managers promised you Europe? It's like, yeah. Europe is yours. I've read this a few places that apparently the British and Uncle Sam's managers have promised you Europe and made running the Russians out of Ukraine your job, and the prize being Europe for you. No, there is no such thing. Do you remember the last time also during World War II they promised you Europe? They promised Hitler Europe. Hitler kept on invading different parts under different justifications, and the British stayed quiet. Uncle Sam's managers didn't get involved until after like 3 years that you guys were fighting tooth and nail. You decimated each other before Uncle Sam got involved. Uncle Sam's managers got involved. Folks, they're promising you Europe, they're lying to you. If the British and some American managers, Uncle Sam's managers, are promising you Europe, they're lying to you. This is the trick. I don't know why I'm supposed to fucking explain this to the Germans. How stupid are you motherfuckers? They're promising you Europe. They promised Adolf Hitler Europe. The Crown Prince of England was in the Nazi party himself. The Crown Prince of England. Of course they egged you on. But they had a plan. The plan was egg you on to take over and then attack you and bring you down. For, considering that's not acceptable that you take over. They're lying. First they egg you on to take over, and then they attack you and destroy the whole fucking Europe again. Just because you took over. Therefore, if they have promised you, Mr. Olaf Scholz, if they have promised you Europe, if you start fighting the Russians, if they promised you the prize of this fight, if you are the winner against the Russians and the Ukraine remains part of Europe and a NATO base, they have promised you Europe. But Mr. Olaf Scholz, you actually don't even have, control over your own land. You have foreign bases on your land. So I'm not sure what they have promised you. The prize for Germany is going to be after this hard fought run, which may end into World War III, an end of life on Earth, or very miserable life left on Earth. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they promised you. They're lying. You're not going to get Europe. Not now, not ever. Your best chance in Europe is to stay together, to put the fucking fire out off in your neighborhood. Even the neighbors, even the laziest neighbors understand that fire has this tendency of spreading to the areas close to it. Fire has a tendency of spreading to the areas close to it. This area happens to be in your neighborhood. So you set fire to Libya and the whole area became very inflamed. Syria, Iraq, the whole area, you set it aflame. You do understand that this civilization is now happening in your continent. And they're egging you on to continue. Why? Who does this benefit? The Germans are going to benefit from this. They're not going to lose any land. Lose any land to what? One human, two human, well, you motherfucking, you're all fucking human. My human or your human, I got a bigger penis. Folks, I can assure you, the people who are living on those lands, I can assure you, they don't care who collects the taxes. Let me repeat again. The people who are living on those lands, they know they gotta pay taxes. Somebody has gotta get it. And that's the whole business of having more land. You can collect more taxes. The people don't want the war because people know they already have to pay taxes to somebody, whether this side or that side. The war is over who's supposed to collect the taxes in Ukraine. People don't care. They know they gotta pay taxes and they pay their taxes. If it's very orderly. But they don't care who they pay taxes to. Stop bringing up these flags and these tribal notions. You're fucking apes? Still? As an alien, if an alien would look at your situation in which you're setting fire to your own pants, imagine Germany being, the shirt and Ukraine being the one leg of the pants. You're setting fire to a leg of your pants and you're not helping to stop the fire. You're basically, apparently you're helping, sending weapons to increase the flames, the heat, so all of your body can burn? Who? I wish your engineers were in charge, because apparently you're not an engineer, Mr. Olaf Scholz. You're not really a thinker, are you? Are you a bureaucrat who just reached where you reached? Who are you? Are you an actor like Mr. Zelensky? Where are your intellectuals? Who are the people who understand that, destruction is not always beneficial? destruction is only beneficial to very few who actually make the bombs. The rest, it's like, you know, it's like the difference between breaking China and making China. Making is a very delicate, time-consuming work. Breaking is just one movement. Folks, you're letting the British, I saw the highest number of advisors in Ukraine are British. You're letting the British set fire to one of your trouser legs. And the British are egging you on to help more. It's your trouser. It's in your neighborhood, Mr. Olaf Scholz. Ukraine is in your neighborhood. One tries to put off the fire from one's leg if it's on fire, because one understands that this fire will spread to the rest of my body. Are you folks kidding me? People don't care who they pay their taxes to, as long as their taxes help benefit their standard of living. And Russia has done well in raising the standard of living of its people from the Soviet Union days. And Ukraine, I think everybody knows Ukraine to be extremely corrupt, like Azerbaijan. Extremely corrupt. So whether they have raised the standard of living of their people or they haven't, some of them are setting fire to their own house. If Ukraine is in your neighborhood, Mr. Olaf Scholz, these people who are in power, they're setting fire to their own house. Some of them apparently don't care. Yes, Russia is the bigger neighbor. Russia's concern should be Ukraine's concern, because it's the neighborhood. You don't set your neighbor's house on fire. Doesn't matter how much you may not care for him. But you don't set your neighbor's house on fire, because there's a big chance that the fire is not going to be restricted to his house. It might catch your own house as well. So you don't set fire to your neighbor's house. It's simple. But the British don't care, because Ukraine is attached to you. Ukraine is not Northern Ireland. They want Northern Ireland quiet and peaceful, but they're setting fire to your trouser leg, Mr. Olaf Scholz. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody sees this? Whether be it under Russian control or the Ukrainian control or whatever the fucking British have promised you, it doesn't matter. The people who live there don't care who they pay their taxes to, as long as they get some services in return. And I believe Russians were providing better services to their citizens, while the corrupt Ukrainians were, for a few years before this, they were known to be corrupt. They kept on, corruption kept on showing up in donations to the political candidates in the United States. Their donation boxes came up that they had some corrupt money that was donated from some corrupt individuals to both parties. So again, doesn't matter. Russia, Ukraine, these people want to live. You're burning down their homes over the fact that who should collect their taxes. Well, if the home is not left, if there is no home left, if there are no homes left, then nobody's gonna pay any taxes anyway. So what's the fucking use of those lands? If you fire depleted uranium on those lands, it doesn't matter who pays the taxes. Nobody wants to fucking live on that land that has been spread with depleted uranium. Doesn't matter how safe they say they are. It's called uranium. I don't care how safe you tell me it is. Once in a while it does, have a ray here and there. Are you fucking kidding me? You're setting fire to your own pants and you're using depleted uranium underground because we want to determine who collects the taxes on this land. Meanwhile, we are polluting and burning down this land so bad that after we eventually become the owners of it, it becomes a useless. And then if we become owners, it's going to be useless anyway, because nobody wants to live there and pay taxes. What the fuck are you doing? Mr. Olaf Scholz. You humans are worth a cry. You humans are worth a cry. That's all. It's pathetic how the British are playing all of you. Pathetic. Folks, it doesn't matter. You gotta somehow work something out with the Russians. They promised you, the British and the Uncle Sam's managers promised you the moon and the sun, but they will not deliver. They will not let you have control over the kind of control that you Germans want over Europe. The British and Americans will not let you have that kind of control. So don't listen to their promises. It's not going to happen. Even if you do win the war in Ukraine over Russia, and it doesn't end in nuclear war, even if that happens, the British and Uncle Sam's managers, whoever is going to be in charge at that time, but the core policy remains the same. They will let you feel you have control, you're the owner of Europe, but then they come up with for why they should attack you. It's not difficult. They said they did the same with Iraq, and they did the same thing with Hitler in World War II, with Germany in World War II. They let him have a bunch of land before they declared war on him, and the British didn't care. The British were the last ones, because, as I said, Britain itself, you know, they pretended that they're okay with Nazis. Again, Prince of England, I believe Andrew, his name was in the Nazi party. The one that abdicated was a member of a British Nazi party. So this is playing a part. This is playing a game. They pretend they're with you. They allow you to take over some, but at the end they object and they attack. How hard is this to understand? You Germans have been down this path twice now. You want to make it 3? There is nothing worth. Here's my piece to you, Mr. Olaf Scholz. It's not worth to have one's pants on fire. There is no price that you can give me that's tell me that don't put off the fire on your pants. There's no price. You can't tell me I will give you $100,000 if you don't put off the fire on your trouser. If you say that, I will not accept. I don't care at that moment that my leg is on fire, my trouser is on fire. At that moment, there is no amount of money or power or accolade you can offer me to prevent me from putting off the flames around my leg. There's no price. I'm not sure what price have the British offered you to cooperate with them in setting your own leg on fire in Ukraine. I'm not sure what prices. There is not a sane person in this world, sane, I'm not talking about very cognitively able. There is not a sane person in this world who will accept setting fire to his own trousers for any price. Are you people nuts in Germany? The people in charge, I'm sure Germans, I guess if a German engineer was in charge, he would understand that the concept of proximity to one's leg, makes it insane to set one's leg on fire because of the close proximity. Folks, please stop the Ukraine war. You folks are... This is not about democracy, it's not about freedom, it's not bullshit. You're all fucking human, you're a piece of shit. All of humanity is apparently a piece of shit. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. For the people who are supposed to live on the uranium depleted land that you're creating, what does it matter who they pay taxes to? So what's the point of, if it's not the taxes, what's the point? Is the point we're back to this is my banner and that is your banner and my banner? Are you playing flag games? These games that children play, whose flag is on top of the mountain? No, the idea, the flag is what the schmuck public has to think that is important. The tribal flag. But you think you know that, it's about taxes and territory and more. But if nobody wants to live on that territory because of spread of depleted uranium, what's the point? This is the 5th time I'm saying this. You're doing an insane job, Mr. Olaf Scholz, not putting off the fire on your pants. Humans.